Hi everyone, I am Madhushankari. I am working as a social faculty in Global School. In this video, I am going to teach you 8th Social History Chapter 1. In 8th Social, it is divided into 3 divisions: History, Geography and Civics. Already I have studied in 6th standard and 7th standard. History means study about our past. Geography means study about places. Civics means study about people's right. In this video, I am going to cover Chapter 1, History. This is the cover page of your book, Our Past 3. And totally you are having 10 chapters in history. Now we are going to see Chapter 1, that is how, when and where. Before entering into the chapter, we need to know all these important vocabularies in Chapter 1 so that you can easily understand all the concepts. First vocabulary, chronology. Chronology means different time periods. You everyone know in history we are going to study about different time periods. So studying about different time periods, that is called chronology. And second, it is coherence. Coherence means quality of being logical. For example, if I am going to say some story, there should be some coherence. Coherence means there should be some logic in that story. Like that, whatever history we are saying, any stories, there should be some logic, right? So it is called coherence. All the chapters having some coherence. Whatever chapters in the history, they are having some coherence. That is some logical meaning. And third, precise. You already know the meaning for this. Precise means accurate, 100% right. That is precise. Posterity means for future generation. For example, I can give a line: I am saving all old coins for my posterity. Posterity means for future generation. And survey. Everyone know the meaning for this. Survey means examine something closely. Close examine. Whatever it is, maybe a land, house, population, whatever it is. Close examination of something is called survey. And you already studied in 6th and 7th, flora means plants and fauna means animals. And curious. I'm curious to study history. Curious means eager to learn. And topography. Everyone know you have studied in 6th and 7th geography. Topography means features of land surface. That means land surface have different features like plains, plateaus, mountains, like that. It is called topography. And now we are entering into the chapter 1, how, when and where. Do you know why the chapter name is like question format? How, when and where? Because when we ask questions only, we can get answers about our past. If, for example, I can ask a question: how people start to print newspapers? When did they start to drink tea? Where did they start to build railway lines? Like that, if I am asking questions, I may get the answer. That is our past. That is history. So every chapters of history starts with question format: how, when and where. An important thing you want to understand before entering into the chapters: historians. Who are called as historians? A person who study and write about past, whomever it is. If some persons they are writing and studying about our past, they are called historians. You may study archaeologists, many about historians also in 6th history, right? So who are called as historians? A person who study and write about past, they are called historians. Already said history will be interesting when you are asking some questions. You want to ask more and more questions, then only you can get the answers for history. And for some events we can give accurate date, that is precise. I already said no in vocabulary. For some events we cannot give precise date. For what events we cannot give precise date? So I will give you an example, whatever in the book. When the people started to drink tea, do they started to drink tea in a particular day? No. We can give only span of time. That is from this century to this century. 19th century people started to drink tea. Like that we can give only span of time, not an accurate date. Can able to give any accurate date for when people started to drink tea? No. So for this type of events we cannot give accurate time or date. But for some events we can give some accurate time. For example, when did the king born? Birth of king. death of king, crown of king, battles. Many battles are there. Battle of Plassey, for example, Battle of Srirangapatnam. Like that, for this battles we can give accurate year, 1757, 1779. Like that, we can give accurate year for this. But for some events, we cannot give accurate time. And whether the dates are important by itself or by events. No, the dates are not important by itself. Due to some events happen in the particular date only makes the dates important. Some particular events happen in the particular date, so due to events only the dates get important. And many British historians, who are called as historians, a person who study and write about past. British historians, they always used to say about their achievements, their policies, what British person they have did in India. And two things you want to remember here is, who was the first British governor of British India after British entered India? Who was the British governor, first governor? He is Warren Hastings. And who was the last viceroy? And he was Lord Mountbatten. In between these two, many of them become the governor general. I will explain you later in all the chapters. Okay, then all the British historians, they written their achievements, what they did, British persons, what they achieved, what are the policies they introduced in our India, and what are the activities they carry on. Like that, they have written all the things. And chronology, I said, chronology means different time periods. In different chapters, we have said about different time periods, and all the chapters will have some coherence. Coherence means some logical meaning to shape the story. And we are going to periodize our history into different periods, right? So first, James Mill, he was a person from Scotland. Where he was from Scotland, and he was the economist and philosopher. Philosopher means Tattvanyani, right? So James Mill, he was an economist, philosopher, and he belongs to Scotland. He written a book known as History of British India in the year 1817. You can easily remember 18, reverse of 18, what number? 17. So 1817. He divided Indian history into Hindu, Muslim and British. Right? How he divided Indian history? He divided Indian history into three periods. What are the periods? Hindu, Muslim and British. And he had written History of British India book. That is 3-volume book. How many volume book? 3 volumes. It have 3 volumes. And why we want to divide the history into different periods? Why we want to divide? Just to compare each periods. Just for example, if I am comparing ancient period and modern period, many changes are there. Just to compare the periods and to know the characteristics of that period, what happened in that period. To compare the different periods and to find the characteristics of each period. We are dividing the history into different periods. And this James Mill, he said that Asian societies were under lower civilization before British entered India, and after British entered India only we become better civilization. Like that he explained. Whether the statement is true? No, it is accurately wrong, because after British entered India, whether our civilization become higher? No, they didn't give us freedom or equality, nothing. Right? They came here for their benefit, not for our benefit. And many other historians have divided Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern. They refer this modern period as after British entered India. But after British entered India, we don't have equality or freedom. And one important topic is colonial. Colonial, before entering into the topic, you want to know the meaning for one important vocabulary, that is subjugate. Subjugate means control. What does mean by subjugate? Subjugate means controlling something, right? So, what does mean by colonial? One country subjugate other country. One country means which country is controlling us? British. Which country they are controlling? India. So, if after British entered India, we have many changes in political changes. They become the governor general, not Indian persons. And economic, financially, they have started to collect all the revenues, and we become very poor. And social, many social aspects also changed after British entered India. And cultural changes like dressing, food and taste, everything changed after British entered India. So now we can define colonial or colonization. One country subjugate other country. What happened if they entered? Leads to political, economical, social and cultural change. This is called colonial or colonization. Okay. and in this book we are going to see how British started to conquer means annexed, how they started to annex each and every places in our country, and how they subjugate local nawabs and rajas. Subjugate means control. And how they started to collect revenue means tax or money. What are the crops they have produced and they have exported for British, and what are the changes they brought in taste and values. Like this, all the things we are going to see in this book, history, right? Then what are the sources of Indian history before 250 years? If I am saying before 1000 years or before 2000 years, you can say from manuscripts, from inscriptions like Olaichuvadi, Kalvettu, like that we can get all the sources. But they are saying about only last 250 years. That means before British, after British entered India, where we can get source. So I am giving now. After British entered India, what they said means all the things, whatever it is, maybe appointment order, maybe a resignation order, maybe a policy, whatever it is, it should be in written format. British believed that everything should be in a written format. Nothing should be in a oral format. Okay, right? Everything should be in a written format. So they started record rooms. They started to build record rooms in many places like collector office, commissioner office, court, schools, many things. They have started to set up record rooms, and they have also preserved all the documents for further use, future use, right? Everything, whatever it is, decision, agreement or resignation or appointment, policies, investigation, whatever it is, everything should be clearly written and they should be stored in a record room. Like that British believed. So the historians take everything from this record rooms itself. Okay, right? Then they have also set up many special institutions like archives, museums. Archives means some historical documents or historical things are stored in some special places, that is called archives. And museums also same like that. Historical documents and historical things will be stored in the special institutions like archives and museums. And many documents also, many important documents also preserved here. And in early 19th century, they have started many archives. And in early 19th century, many calligraphists, what they did means they started to copy all these documents preserved in the record room in their neat handwriting. What is meant by calligraphist? Who are called as calligraphist? Calligraphist means a person having good handwriting. A person having good handwriting. They are called calligraphists. They started to copy all the documents into another printed form with their good handwriting. And in middle of 19th century, all these documents were copied into many copies, printed into many copies using, because printing has been introduced. So they have copied into many formats and they have started to distribute it in all the places like bazaars, like everything, like newspaper format or documents. They have started to distribute to every local peoples, and they started to read all these documents. And British also thought that before going to rule the country, they want to analyze, they want to examine the country clearly. So they have used the method called survey. Survey means, already I said, no, close examination of something. So British believe that before going to rule the country, we want to know the country prior. So they started to take survey. What are the surveys they have taken? In villages, they have started to take revenue surveys. What are the salaries for each person? How they are getting salary? What are the earnings for each and every people? Like that, they have collected the revenue survey in villages. And topography, flora, fauna, topography already I explained. Topography means features of land, and flora means plants, fauna means animals. And many types of survey also they have taken. Example, forest survey, archaeological survey, anthropological survey, like that many surveys they have taken. And also they have started to take census means number of peoples, the population, right? After every year, so every 10 years they started to take census. How much gap for taking census? It is 10 years, right? And what are the surveys? Already I said examples: botanical survey, zoological survey, archaeological survey, anthropological survey, forest survey, like the different types of survey they have taken. And all the official records, they will say about some documents stored, whatever stored in the record room. But what are the things they cannot able to explain to the future? What are the things they cannot explain? They cannot able to say how tribal peoples live, how peasants means farmers, how they live, because farmers and tribal peoples, they don't know to write, right? So we cannot able to find the informations about them. So these are the documents we cannot find in the official records. So it is tough to collect about how tribals lived in that ancient period, and how peasants suffered, like that informations, it is tough to collect, right? And some informations we have collected from diary. Particular persons, some personalities may write diary. And pilgrims, who are called as pilgrims, person who travel from place to place to worship of God, for worship of God, just to particularly for worship of God. So they have written something, and autobiographies they have written some about some personalities. So they have started to collect some informations like this. But they cannot able to collect the about the informations about tribals and peasants, because they don't know to write. So it is very tough to collect the informations about tribals and peasants. So it is, even though it is tough, they have collected something in different ways. And that's all about chapter 1. In chapter 2, we can study how British entered India and how they started to conquer each and every places of India. Thank you, dears.